Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Scraptember. Today's the 18th, and oh no, today's the 19th, and we're going to be talking about floral. So I've got these two pictures or three pictures of us from a sunflower farm, and I'm going to be using a combination of 49 Market okra and Crafty Garden to make a page using some florals. So it's a little bit more mellow of a floral than maybe some other people will use, but I think you'll enjoy the process. So I'll put you on fast forward and we'll see how it comes together.
Just simple page actually. The first thing I do is put the frames from the okra collection around the two flowers. So I start with three 4x6s and I end up with one 4x6 and two 3x4s with frames around them. I am in love with the frames that came with these collections. I enjoy using them throughout the pages. Sometimes I just use them on the borders, and sometimes I do this where I cut out the pages or the pictures to fit into the frames. I also know I want to use some of the rub-ons. I am going to first cut out some of the laser cuts here that are florals. I'm not sure how I'm going to use them, but I want them out before I have to use them. And I think one of the things we talked about a couple times, these laser cuts, very delicate. I think I cut like two or three of them as I was doing it, but make it work. Then I'm going to go to the rub-ons, and I have a few of these rub-ons that are floral base, and I know those are the ones I want to use. They're floral base, but they're kind of a cream color, so they're going to blend in, and I want to put them on both sides. Then I have a few of the die cuts. Now the funny thing is those like die cuts were just like they fell out, so I had them sitting there and I'm like, oh, I'll just use these. So I picked out a few of the things to use, and then I put everything else to the side. And we've talked about this a lot of times, but that's how you get a page done a little bit faster. Now, full disclosure, this page took me over 30 minutes. I have sped it up quite a bit because I don't think it's going to be super fun to watch me do a bunch of rub-ons. But it did take me a while still to do this page. But normally, by leaving out the things that I want, it makes it a little bit easier. So I put the picture down where I wanted it, and I drew on the side so I could put the rub-ons in the right place. I've then rubbed them down, and so we have even more floral background on this floral paper. That kind of reemphasizes the theme of today, which is florals. It also lets me use some of these products, and it is a lot of fun. It makes the background even more kind of dimensional, even though it's just a kind of a plain yellow border on a lot of them. So I have layered up these photos. I've made my kind of classic diagonal, and now I'm going to layer up these florals all over there in the corner between those two flowers. And they don't all end up being there, but the first thing I'm doing is laying them out just to see where I want. I don't always do this. A lot of times I will just glue things down. But in this particular case, I did want to make sure I liked where I was putting everything before I started gluing, because I knew I was going to have to use wet glue, and wet glue is 100% unforgiving. So the first thing I did was glue those two flowers together, and then I put those down, and then I'm layering the yellow flowers over the white flowers, and we're kind of creating a cluster of florals. So it makes it look dimensional because it is dimensional. It's a lot of florals on top of each other. Then I have these three little baby phrases that say, love this, oh happy day, memorable moments. And then I'm starting to layer up the other tags and such all around the page, adding some more florals at the top there, adding a tag, and just putting these two tags together and putting a floral on top of them, basically just creating little embellishment clusters. This is something that I have enjoyed doing. Now I'm looking at it and deciding I think I need just a little bit more, and I'm not sure what that little bit more is. I find the word hello, and I like that there at the bottom. It anchors that final picture, but I still want a little something more. I want a little more color. So I do find these two, one moth, one butterfly. I add those in, and a little circle that I don't remember what it says, and I can't see because, eyes. And then I add some sequins. Now this is the same sequence mix we talked about before that is actually pumpkin pie, but it goes with the colors of this. There's some yellows, some golds, some oranges. I think it adds a little bit of fun. And I just put them around the natural floral clusters that are in the page. and that just adds a little bit of sparkle. But then when I'm looking at it, I think something is still missing and I don't know what it is. And I decide to channel my inner Sherry. She works for the My Little Scrapbook Store. She's part of our design team over at My Little Scrapbook Store. And she would do this thing where she would put a lot of glue out and then just dump sequins on the glue and let it stay and kind of make little sections of sequins. And I thought that would be a great thing to do for this page. So that's what I did, and I end up loving how it kind of anchors the diagonal on both corners, and it gives a little bit more sparkle to the page. So I hope you enjoyed this take on florals. I'm going to come back live and talk to you about the page and kind of my last minute thoughts on it from when I did it. But I will be back tomorrow with hearts. So we go straight from flowers to hearts. Have a good one, everyone.
I am back. So I had a lot of fun with this one. I layered up a lot of the flowers here. So that's a lot of the florals. The pictures are florals. But basically, what I did was just use some embellishments on this really cool piece of paper. Now, at the bottom and the top corner, I did this technique that I got from Sherry over at the My Little Scrapbook Store design team, where you just throw down glue and throw down sequins on it. And then when it dries, and I'll wait and take a picture when it dries, it's going to look really, really fun, like a kind of a sea of sequins. So I thought that was fun. I've got a diagonal design. My title is Loved This Oh Happy Day Memorable Moments, I think. But really, it's just about the fun flowers. Thanks, everybody, and I'll see you tomorrow for hearts.